Have you ever wondered why you're waking up multiple times a night to use the bathroom, even when you've barely had anything to drink? It might seem harmless, just part of aging, or perhaps even a result of stress. But what if I told you that these nightly interruptions might be tied to something deeper, something that's silently impacting not only your sleep, but your overall health? Today, I want to share with you a connection that remains under the radar for most people: the powerful link between your prostate and your ability to sleep through the night. It's a topic rarely discussed openly, yet it affects millions of men, particularly as they age. You see, the prostate is a small gland, roughly the size of a walnut, nestled just below the bladder. Its job seems simple enough: contribute to the production of seminal fluid. But when this gland starts to change, especially with age, it can create a domino effect that goes far beyond reproduction. As men get older, it's common for the prostate to enlarge, a condition known as benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. What's less commonly understood is how this enlargement subtly affects your nightly routine. The growing prostate presses against the urethra and bladder, leading to that constant sensation of needing to urinate. That means frequent trips to the bathroom, often interrupting the most restorative phases of your sleep. But here's where things get even more intriguing. When your sleep is disrupted night after night, your body doesn't just feel tired. It fails to carry out critical functions like hormonal regulation, cellular repair, and memory consolidation. Fragmented sleep can slowly chip away at your vitality, your focus, and even your mood. You may start to feel more irritable, less productive, and surprisingly more anxious, without realizing that it all began with a swollen gland. And let's be honest, most of us try to cope with these symptoms rather than address the root cause. We cut down on water at night, we take sleep aids, we assume it's just aging. But in truth, these are signs, a quiet cry from your body that something needs attention. Here's the good news: nature provides powerful allies if you know where to look. And throughout this series, I'll show you natural, science-backed strategies that can support your prostate, reduce nighttime urination, and restore the peaceful, uninterrupted sleep your body craves. Now, before we dive deeper, I want to let you in on something important. At the end of this journey, I'll be revealing a bonus tip, one that has been overlooked by many, yet has the potential to significantly enhance the effects of everything else I'll share. It's simple, natural, and could make all the difference in how well your body responds to the changes you'll begin implementing. So make sure to stay with me till the end, because missing this could mean leaving powerful benefits on the table. And a word of caution: when it comes to natural solutions, dosage and method of preparation matter a lot. A small mistake in how you brew a tea or the timing of a supplement can reduce its effectiveness or even backfire. That's why understanding each step fully and clearly is essential. I promise to keep everything practical and easy to apply so you're never left guessing. Here's something that might surprise you: interrupted sleep doesn't just make you tired. It may also set the stage for deeper health complications. Some researchers now suggest that chronic sleep fragmentation due to nocturia, the urge to urinate at night, may influence cardiovascular health, immune response, and even cognitive function. The link between prostate health and sleep is not just about comfort, it's about preserving long-term well-being. And let's not forget the emotional toll. Constantly waking up, never feeling fully rested, affects your motivation and your sense of control. Sleep isn't just rest. It's when your body recovers, resets, and rebuilds. So if you've been chalking up those nightly wake-ups to just getting older, it's time to reconsider. Because behind those small disruptions lies a story your body is trying to tell you. And understanding it is the first step to taking back your nights and your days. In the next part, I'll reveal something that might sound unrelated at first, but is shockingly intertwined: how your bladder and brain are locked in a cycle that could be quietly draining your energy and clarity. This next insight is one of the most important in the entire journey, and ignoring it could mean missing the core reason your body hasn't responded to other treatments. Let's get into it. If you're someone who's been waking up multiple times during the night to urinate, and you're already aware that your prostate might be involved, there's another layer to this story that's even more surprising and more important. It has to do with the way your bladder and brain are communicating, or rather, miscommunicating. And this ongoing conversation between the two could be silently draining your energy and clarity in ways you never imagined. Let's start with a little-known fact. Your bladder and your brain are in constant contact. This relationship is managed by a network of nerves that signal when it's time to release urine and when to hold it in. Under normal circumstances, this system works flawlessly. But when the prostate begins to enlarge, as it often does with age, it puts pressure on the urethra and bladder wall. The bladder, in response, becomes hypersensitive. It starts to send out urgency signals to the brain, even when it's only partially full. This leads to what many men experience as nocturia, the frequent urge to urinate during the night. But here's the twist. The real damage isn't in getting up to pee. It's in the way this disrupts your brain's natural sleep architecture. You see, deep sleep, the kind that repairs your body and recharges your mind, requires a stable environment. When you're pulled out of this cycle repeatedly, even briefly, your brain doesn't just lose sleep, it loses its rhythm. And just like a song with too many interruptions, the melody of your mental clarity, focus, and mood begins to distort. Studies show that even brief interruptions in sleep can reduce the amount of time spent in restorative phases like REM and deep sleep. Over time, this can affect hormone production, immune function, and even memory retention. You might think you're getting enough hours of rest, but if your sleep is fragmented, your body registers it as sleep deprivation. And it doesn't stop there. The bladder-brain loop can become a self-reinforcing cycle. Each night you wake up to urinate, your brain becomes more attuned to light sleep and more reactive to even the slightest bladder signal. This is why, for many men, the problem seems to get worse over time, even if they haven't increased fluid intake or made other lifestyle changes. Now let's talk about what makes this particularly challenging for those living a modern lifestyle. In North America, the overconsumption of caffeine, especially in the afternoon and evening, stimulates the bladder and increases urgency. Add to that the habit of sedentary work, poor hydration routines, and high-sodium diets. These all contribute to bladder irritation and sleep disruption. And while it might be tempting to just reduce fluid intake before bed, this strategy can backfire. Dehydration actually concentrates the urine, which in turn irritates the bladder lining and increases the sensation of urgency. It's not about drinking less, it's about drinking smart and at the right times of day. But there's more. Your brain, when under chronic sleep disruption, starts to downregulate certain neurotransmitters that affect mood and alertness. That sluggish feeling in the morning, the low-energy mid-afternoon crash, the creeping brain fog, these are all connected. And while we might blame stress, age, or a poor mattress, the root cause often starts with something far less obvious: the misfire between your prostate-influenced bladder and your sleep-focused brain. The good news? This cycle can be broken. Through natural strategies that support both prostate and neurological function, it's possible to retrain the bladder-brain connection. Simple shifts in daily habits, specific nutrients, and timed natural remedies can restore balance. We'll be diving into those practical steps shortly. But before we move on, I want you to sit with this idea. Your sleep troubles are not just about restlessness. They're part of a deeper physiological loop, one that affects your cognition, your mood, and your ability to feel fully present in your life. This is why resolving the bladder-brain miscommunication is one of the most impactful things you can do for your long-term health. And ignoring this part of the puzzle may lead to minimal results, or worse, intensify the very symptoms you're trying to solve. In the next chapter, we'll explore a set of foods that most people think are harmless, some even considered healthy, that may be quietly undermining your prostate and sabotaging your sleep. This is one of the most important steps to understand, because getting it wrong can reduce the effects of any natural remedy you try afterward. Let's keep going. You've just discovered how the delicate conversation between your bladder and brain can influence far more than your sleep. It can affect your focus, energy, and even emotional balance. But what if this internal miscommunication wasn't just neurological or hormonal? What if part of the problem is sitting right on your plate, disguised as comfort food or a quick snack? Many people don't realize that the foods they rely on every day, some even labeled as healthy, may be quietly irritating the prostate and triggering this entire cycle of discomfort. These aren't exotic or rare ingredients. In fact, they're common in kitchens across North America, woven into everyday habits and often overlooked because of their convenience. Let's take processed meats as an example: sausages, bacon, deli turkey. These products are staples in many breakfast routines, yet they're loaded with preservatives, sodium, and inflammatory compounds that can stress the body over time. What you might not know is that chronic low-grade inflammation fueled by these foods has been linked to prostate enlargement and increased urinary frequency. Then there are cheeses, especially the aged and heavily processed types. Sure, they taste great melted on a sandwich or grated over pasta, but they're also high in saturated fats. Excessive consumption of these fats has been associated with hormonal imbalances, particularly in testosterone metabolism, which plays a critical role in prostate health. Hormonal shifts may silently exacerbate prostate swelling, leading to more pressure on the bladder and, you guessed it, more nighttime trips to the bathroom. And let's not forget sugar. It's in far more than just desserts. From store-bought sauces to breakfast cereals and healthy snack bars, refined sugar is everywhere. Consuming too much can lead to spikes in insulin, which has been shown to interact with pathways involved in inflammation and cell proliferation. That's not just bad for your energy levels or weight. It's potentially worsening the very condition that's robbing you of sleep. Even beverages come into play. That nightly beer or glass of wine to unwind. Alcohol is a known diuretic and bladder irritant. Over time, it also affects liver function, which is crucial for hormone processing. Similarly, those carbonated sodas and energy drinks, they're acidic, sugary, and often contain caffeine, all of which stimulate the bladder and may aggravate an already sensitive prostate. You may be wondering, does this mean I have to give up everything I enjoy? Absolutely not. The point isn't deprivation, it's awareness. Because once you understand how certain ingredients interact with your body, you can make smarter, more strategic choices. Swap processed meats for lean organic protein sources. Opt for whole foods instead of packaged snacks. Use herbs and spices to flavor meals instead of heavy sauces. And consider plant-based alternatives for dairy, which are often easier on both the digestive and hormonal systems. The goal isn't a strict diet, it's reducing the internal stress load your prostate is under so that your body can begin to restore balance naturally. When inflammation decreases, when the bladder isn't being irritated from within, you may notice more than just fewer trips to the bathroom. You may start to feel clearer, lighter, more in control. These dietary shifts might seem small, but their impact can be significant, especially when combined with other natural strategies for sleep and prostate support. Think of food as the foundation. Without a clean base, no supplement or herb will work to its full potential. And don't forget, timing matters too. Late-night snacking, especially on salty or sugary foods, can disrupt not only your digestion, but also your hydration levels and hormone cycles. That one bag of chips or sweet dessert before bed, it may be more connected to your 2 a.m. bathroom visit than you ever realized. This is where real progress begins, not with a radical overhaul, but with mindful replacements. It's about understanding that your body is a system, and every choice you make either supports or strains that system. The next insight I'll share is one of the most eye-opening of all. It's not about what you should avoid, but about a specific mineral that could be missing from your routine, and how its absence may be silently fueling the exact symptoms you're trying to fight. Ignoring it doesn't just limit your results, it could lead to greater imbalance and harder to correct deficiencies. Let's keep building from here. After rethinking the role of common foods in your nightly discomfort, it's time to turn our focus to something most people overlook completely: a mineral that plays a surprisingly powerful role in both prostate health and restful sleep. It's not trendy, it's not exotic, but its absence can create a ripple effect in your body that worsens every symptom we've discussed so far. That mineral is zinc. Zinc is involved in hundreds of bodily processes, but what makes it especially critical here is its dual role in hormone regulation and immune response, two factors that directly influence the condition of the prostate. Studies have shown that men with lower levels of zinc tend to have higher rates of prostate enlargement and inflammation. But the story doesn't stop there. Zinc is also crucial for the healthy function of the pineal gland in the brain, which helps regulate your sleep-wake cycle through melatonin production. This means that if you're zinc deficient, your body might be struggling on two fronts. It's less equipped to keep prostate tissue balanced and healthy, and it's also producing less melatonin at night, making it harder to fall and stay asleep. This combination explains why many men report not only waking frequently to urinate, but also feeling like their sleep quality is poor, even between bathroom visits. Now here's the twist. Most people assume that simply eating more foods with zinc or taking a supplement will fix the problem. But absorption is where things often go wrong. Your body doesn't store zinc in large quantities, and several common factors interfere with its absorption. For starters, diets high in processed grains and cereals often contain phytates, which bind to zinc and make it harder for your body to use. Excessive calcium from overconsumption of dairy products can also compete with zinc absorption. And let's not forget alcohol, which not only taxes the liver, but also reduces the amount of zinc retained by the kidneys. This is why some men continue to suffer symptoms despite seemingly making the right nutritional choices. It's not just about intake, it's about bioavailability. That's the real secret. If your body can't access the zinc you're giving it, you won't get the benefits. So, what can you do? First, focus on zinc-rich foods that also come with natural cofactors to support absorption. Pumpkin seeds are an excellent example. They're high in zinc, magnesium, and healthy fats. Other great options include oysters, grass-fed beef, chickpeas, cashews, and spinach. Eating these foods with a small amount of healthy fat, like olive oil or avocado, can enhance absorption. Second, pay attention to how and when you consume these foods. Zinc is best absorbed on an empty stomach, but this can be tough for those with sensitive digestion. A helpful strategy is to consume a small amount of zinc-rich food between meals rather than as part of a heavy dish. And for those who do choose to take a supplement, choosing a chelated form such as zinc picolinate or zinc bisglycinate can improve absorption. And finally, consider the role of stress. Chronic stress depletes zinc faster than your diet can replenish it. This creates a loop. Stress reduces zinc, which weakens your hormonal balance and sleep quality, which increases stress further. Supporting your nervous system through gentle activities like walking, deep breathing, or herbal teas can help preserve your zinc levels over time. Once your zinc levels begin to normalize, many people report that improvements come subtly but steadily. Slightly fewer bathroom trips, falling asleep faster, waking up feeling more refreshed. These changes are signs that your body is responding, not just to one change, but to a more integrated approach to wellness. Understanding and correcting micronutrient deficiencies is one of the most overlooked yet transformative steps in reclaiming prostate health and restful sleep. But the benefits of zinc aren't unlocked by accident. They require intentionality. Now, if you've followed along this far, you're already ahead of most people. But what I'll share next could be the key to tying it all together. It's about a specific natural compound found in a little-known plant that has shown promise in both scientific and traditional circles for easing prostate pressure and supporting deep, restorative sleep. But if you prepare it the wrong way, you could lose up to 80% of its effects. This is where precision matters most. Don't skip it, because without this step, your results may be inconsistent and short-lived. You've now seen how food and micronutrients can play a decisive role in restoring balance to your prostate and your nights. But there's another powerful ally that has been quietly waiting in the wings. An ancient botanical, often forgotten in modern times, yet rich in tradition and scientific curiosity. For generations, it was used by native cultures not just to ease discomfort, but to promote vitality and deep, restful sleep. And today, we're bringing it back into the spotlight. Its name is Serenoa repens, more commonly known as saw palmetto. This unassuming plant, native to the southeastern United States, holds properties that modern research is only beginning to understand. But here's what we know so far. Saw palmetto has been shown to help reduce prostate swelling, improve urinary flow, and decrease the number of times men wake up during the night to urinate. What makes saw palmetto particularly intriguing is how it interacts with a specific enzyme in the body called 5-alpha reductase. This enzyme converts testosterone into a more potent form called dihydrotestosterone, or DHT. While DHT plays a role in male development, excess levels have been linked to prostate enlargement and hair loss. Saw palmetto works by gently inhibiting this enzyme, helping the body rebalance naturally, without the harsh side effects often associated with pharmaceutical interventions. But its effects aren't limited to the prostate. Because saw palmetto also helps reduce inflammation, many users report secondary benefits such as less pelvic tension and improved sleep quality. It's this dual action, calming both the urinary system and supporting hormonal equilibrium, that makes it such a valuable tool. That said, not all saw palmetto is created equal. The way it's harvested, processed, and consumed makes a significant difference. Most people never see results because they either take it in a form that's poorly absorbed or combine it with other substances that blunt its effectiveness. For maximum benefit, saw palmetto should be consumed in its liposterolic extract form. This ensures the active compounds are preserved and more easily utilized by the body. It's also best taken in the evening, around an hour before bed, when your body begins to naturally shift into its rest and repair mode. However, there's a second component to this plant's success: what you combine it with. On its own, saw palmetto can support the prostate. But when paired with a calming, sleep-enhancing herb like chamomile, Matricaria recutita, the synergy can be remarkable. Chamomile helps activate GABA receptors in the brain, which promotes a sense of calm and helps you ease into deeper sleep cycles. When combined thoughtfully, these two herbs form a sort of natural elixir for men dealing with nocturnal interruptions. And again, preparation matters. For those opting for a tea blend, steeping chamomile flowers in hot, but not boiling, water for about 8 minutes will preserve its active compounds. Saw palmetto, on the other hand, is not as effective in tea form. It's better taken as a standardized extract in soft gel or capsule form. Taking both together in the right form and timing can lead to noticeable changes within a few weeks. This isn't magic, it's biology, working in your favor. When your prostate feels less pressure and your nervous system is calmer, your body doesn't fight for rest, it receives it. Many men who begin this routine report something simple but powerful. They sleep through the night for the first time in years, and the benefits cascade from there. More energy in the morning, greater focus during the day, a renewed sense of control over their body. But none of this happens without consistency, and more importantly, without the right knowledge. That's why blindly trying herbs without understanding their mechanisms and preparation often leads to disappointment. You now have the framework for creating a nighttime routine that supports your prostate, calms your system, and encourages genuine restoration. But the most critical part still lies ahead. Because everything you've learned about food, minerals, brain chemistry, and plant medicine can be amplified or undermined based on how you bring it all together. And there's one more thing I promise to share. A final insight that ties all of this into a lasting, actionable plan. It's a simple adjustment, yet it holds the power to make or break your progress. Miss it, and even the best tools can lose their impact. Stay with me, because what comes next is the key to transforming knowledge into real, lasting change. By now, you've explored a full spectrum of tools that connect prostate health with deeper, more restorative sleep, from food choices and mineral balance to powerful botanicals. But there's still one crucial element we haven't fully addressed. This final step doesn't cost a thing, and yet it may be the most impactful part of your healing process: timing. The human body operates on a finely tuned internal rhythm known as the circadian cycle. Every cell, every hormone, every organ, including the prostate, follows this biological clock. When your daily habits are misaligned with this rhythm, even the most beneficial nutrients and herbs can fall short. But when your lifestyle flows with this natural cadence, the same actions can produce far greater results. Let's take a closer look at what this means in practical terms. Research shows that your body is most efficient at detoxification and cellular repair during the early hours of the night, typically between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. That's when melatonin production peaks and the brain clears out waste through the glymphatic system. But here's the catch. This process only kicks into gear during uninterrupted deep sleep. So, if your nightly routine delays sleep until midnight or later, or if you're waking frequently due to prostate irritation, your body never fully enters this restorative phase. That means lower hormone balance, reduced immune function, and a slower response to any supplements or dietary changes you're making. This is why simply taking saw palmetto or eating zinc-rich foods won't be enough unless they're timed with your body's peak repair window. It's not just what you do, it's when you do it. Try setting a consistent wind-down routine that starts at least 90 minutes before bed. Dim the lights, disconnect from screens, and give your nervous system a chance to slow down. This signals to your body that it's time to transition into rest. If you're incorporating natural remedies like chamomile or magnesium, take them during this pre-sleep window, not too early and not right at bedtime. This allows them to activate in sync with your body's own hormonal shifts. Similarly, avoid food or alcohol during this window. Even healthy meals eaten too late can spike blood sugar, which disrupts melatonin and increases nighttime urination. One practical trick is to shift your largest meal earlier in the day and keep dinner lighter, favoring anti-inflammatory ingredients like leafy greens, lentils, or wild-caught fish. Hydrate steadily throughout the day, but taper off liquids in the evening, stopping about 2 hours before bedtime. What many people fail to realize is that a consistent, aligned routine actually trains your body. Over time, it builds a predictable rhythm that your prostate and bladder learn to follow. This can dramatically reduce the urgency signals that once woke you up multiple times per night. You might also consider adding gentle evening movement, like stretching or walking, to encourage lymphatic flow. And above all, protect your sleep environment. Even small light sources or inconsistent noise can disrupt melatonin and trigger shallow sleep. Blackout curtains, a quiet room, and a cool temperature can support the deep rest your body needs. As your rhythm stabilizes, everything else you've implemented, nutrients, herbs, hydration, stress reduction, starts working in harmony. This is the synergy most people miss. They jump between fixes without ever aligning them to the clockwork inside their own body. And here's the bonus I promised. There's one simple breathing technique that, when done right before bed, can enhance everything we've discussed. It's called the 4-7-8 breath. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and exhale slowly for 8. Repeat this 4 times. This calms the nervous system, reduces cortisol, and promotes deep parasympathetic rest. It's free, easy, and surprisingly effective, especially when combined with the herbal and nutritional tools we've explored. By integrating this final piece, timing, into your routine, you're no longer guessing. You're working with your body instead of against it. Now here's the truth. Reclaiming your sleep and prostate health isn't about one magic pill. It's about understanding the interconnectedness of your body and making intentional, informed changes. You now have that understanding. So take what you've learned, not as a checklist, but as a lifestyle shift. Commit to the small habits that, over time, create powerful outcomes. Share this knowledge with someone else who might be struggling silently. Because when we invest in our health, we don't just sleep better, we live better. If this journey has helped you, consider subscribing, sharing, or simply reflecting on what you've learned. Let this be the beginning of a more energized, more restful chapter in your life.